Welcome, everybody, to episode 10 of Pop Kannon. I'm Jordan.
I'm Robert.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Brian.
Wow, guys, 10 episodes. We finally made it to double digits here in the reboot.
We've done a decade. Wait, no, that's
Reboot.
Well, we had a good run. I guess we could reboot it again.
Yeah.
Start back at episode ground zero.
considered a hard reboot.
So,
We're
what are we
gonna
here?
unplug the podcast and plug it back in.
What are we here to talk about today?
We are here to discuss The Punisher.
Yes, the Dolph Lundgren film from 1988.
Nay. We are here to talk about Netflix's The Punisher,
Good.
featuring Johnny Bernthal.
Season two specifically.
Specifically, two. But
Also,
touching upon elements of season one as the season did.
Yes. I literally just finished the final episode of season 2 like half an hour ago, so I'm ready to go.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Andrew has been a bingeaholic.
Yeah, I fit in 13 hours of television into 2 days.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's called living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we all do, Andrew.
Welcome to the rest of the world.
Yeah, seriously. Jesus.
So, initial thoughts, guys. So since Andrew saw it the
5
most
minutes
recent,
ago.
yeah, Andrew, what were your overall thoughts on the season itself?
I really liked it. I had a great... We're off to a great start. I had a great time. It didn't start where I expected it to,
Right.
and kind of went off in a way that I didn't expect because the first one was so, centered on military and what it means to be a soldier and all that. And this one felt more like a story you would find in a comic book, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it. Great action. All the characters, I feel like the acting was good. I like that when it started, everybody was worse off except for Frank.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Brian, what about you?
I liked it a lot. I don't think it was as good as the first season. And we'll get obviously more into that. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
That's fair. Okay, Robert.
Yeah, I agree with that. I very much enjoyed myself watching season 2. I think season 1 was a bit more tight, but season 2 definitely had some crazy moments and some awesome action, and some like what the fuck moments.
Yes.
So,
Oh God, yeah.
So definitely enjoyed watching it, and couldn't wait to talk to you guys about it. Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah, overall, I have to agree with Brian where I think that season 2 isn't as strong as season 1, but season 2 definitely had its fair share of moments and definitely up there with one of the best Netflix Marvel stuff.
May they rest in peace.
Well, we got one more. We got Jessica Jones to get to, but we'll let's dissect the Punisher, shall we?
Good luck. He won't let anyone hear him. Unless you're a teenager and you have to pull a slug out of his ass.
Oh. That was
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So let's discuss her for a little bit here.
Oh.
Amy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I liked her.
I mean, I liked the acting, but the character, the way that she was written, was super annoying. So I think it was meant to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I never before, I think, have I seen a character whose main purpose in a show is to make all of the wrong decisions constantly.
Yeah.
Because she just at every turn she was like, "How can I fuck this up worse for everyone?"
That has there have been characters like that in other shows. I think Lost had a couple characters like that.
Yep.
It does happen, and it does get annoying.
Yeah, she was immediately the most frustrating thing about the season for me, and it didn't necessarily stop until we were well into it. But even still, I just found her generally grating. Until the very end, where I was like, "Oh, they had a nice moment," and then that was it.
Let's talk about that scene where he goes into the bathroom.
Oh my god,
That was
so Frank had just eaten a taquito, and he
like one of the bad ones from 7-Eleven.
kills that bathroom, or at least everyone.
He punishes that toilet.
Just the fact that like he walks in and then he takes his belt off and wraps it around his arm, like to deal with the knife.
That was awesome.
That whole scene was choreographed so well.
Yeah,
that was one of the best fight scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I love the really close quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a
kind of fight scenes they do.
When you have a fight in really confined space, it's very hard to pull off.
And I also like that Frank was equal opportunity. If you were trying to kill him, he was going to try to kill you. It didn't matter what was between your legs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag time's up.
Or all of them, yes.
Yeah, if there's one thing that we have learned from watching this show is do not ever bet against Frank Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he absolute beast, and he put that guy's head through that sink.
Oh,
that friggin' ceramic sink. That guy just ate it.
It's like he said, he's not the guy who dies. He's the guy who makes other people die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like his modus operandi.
That's the thesis. That's the thesis for the Punisher.
I'm not the guy who dies.
But like even when he walked her out onto like the dance floor into the main part of the bar, and you see like all these people coming, and then all of a sudden bullets start flying. It's just wild.
Yeah, that was, and then that sequence on the dance floor where they're all fighting. Batshit insane.
We got Ringo out there fucking also wrecking some people.
Oh yeah.
That was the most effective bouncer in a television show of all time.
He took how many gunshots did he take?
I think 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
After getting stabbed and choke slamming a guy into a bar.
Yeah.
So not quite 50 Cent level, but pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
So yeah, that was a great fight to start the violence of the season off. Back to Amy. I didn't necessarily have a problem with her. I kind of got that, they're portraying her. She's a teenager making teenager decisions. She's already been making dumb teenager decisions well before this season started. What I actually didn't buy was the bond between her and Frank. There was an episode later on where they really pushed you to see that she's a surrogate daughter of sorts, that he's looking out for her like that.
Yeah, because she would have roughly been his daughter's age. Yeah, approximately.
Yeah, like a couple years.
But we don't
older.
even necessarily know how old she is throughout.
True. She says 16, but
I mean that she's 16
because she told them that she was 16. But I don't think that it was ever confirmed because the police couldn't figure out.
That's fair.
Who she really was.
She had a lot of false fake identities.
So there's really no telling who or how old she was.
But yes,
but I don't think that was the point. I feel like
no, but that's one of my issues with the season as a whole is there's a lot of stuff that just goes completely unanswered, and we just keep moving.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I'd rather keep moving on something rather than stopping and halting things just to over-explain shit.
I just wanted an answer.
But like ultimately,
how
her
many
age didn't matter though. Like that's one of those things.
It didn't matter, but how many episodes did it take for us to figure out what the fuck was actually going on with her? Like, what was it? Episode 8, we finally were like, oh, pictures. We get it now. Like, it was serious. Like, Frank had murdered, I think, 45 people before he even knew what the hell he was into. Like,
I killed half of Michigan.
Like, that's just one of the things right out of the gate that just, like, looking back at it, bothered the shit out of me, was that he jumped right in. He didn't demand an answer from her, but he was keeping her safe. Like, why? Like, why would you even care?
Yeah.
Especially because that's what he does. He was trying to fight against who he was the whole time when he went out and he found the lady, Beth, and he was like, oh, I'm having a great morning out with Beth and her son. And then he realized, he realizes later on, too, that he's the Punisher.
Yeah. and then the Beth subplot was another one that was just like there and then gone.
See,
yeah, I kept expecting her to come back.
I thought he would have wound up back there by the end. I thought she would have played like we spent 2 or 3 episodes with her.
Yeah,
like 2,
and then it was just over, and that I was just kind of like, okay, but like
that
you made me care, and now I can't care.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the way I felt about it. Like looking back, that was one of my main gripes, was because we spent all this time getting to know this character and establishing a relationship with Frank and humanizing him more, and then she's threatened in the hotel or in the hospital room.
Yeah, by Pilgrim.
But that was it.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from her, and part of me wonders if there was something filmed at the end with her that they decided to cut, knowing that they weren't going to
Move on.
to it.
That's possible.
maybe.
They wanted it just to be a tighter ending as opposed to leaving something open-ended. So that's probably fair. It just that was just one of the things that I was like, why did we spend 2 episodes here to never return? That bothered me. But I mean, like it's smaller gripes that are just coming to the surface thinking about it again.
Mm-hmm.
I finished watching it probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, however long it was. So like thinking about it in retrospect, I'm just like, well, that was annoying.
So one of the things that was kind of really annoying for me was spending so much time in the mental facility with Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Billy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Establishing a weird relationship with him and the doctor.
Dumont.
Like I couldn't care less about that.
No, and they really tried to put the doctor at the forefront, and then they backdoored her into that whole convoluted mess with him and Madani, which was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And like you'd think Madani as a veteran of the police force and having been through, what was she? She's in like fucking Homeland Security.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was stupid enough to fall into a trap where she gives somebody valuable information about somebody. Yeah. Like how fucking stupid.
In all fairness, she did get shot in the
head. That's no excuse.
Okay. So Andrew's explanation for that is, well, she's fucking brain damaged. So.
Yeah.
But like,
I'll buy like $5. How about that? I'll buy that. I'll buy that she's brain damaged because that explains a lot of her actions.
But also the doctor, in her defense, she's a psychologist, so she knows how to push people in a certain direction or get information out of people.
That's also fair, but then also I'm sure that Madani would have undergone like anti-torture training at some point.
Because Homeland is a different animal.
Yeah.
Homeland's a totally different. You're dealing with terrorism and all that kind of shit. That's where if they had put her just flat in the FBI or flat in the CIA,
or just as a cop,
I'll buy that she gives that information up. Saying specifically she's in Homeland makes it difficult for me to understand that. But that's it.
Fair.
I will say at least that plot got paid off with Madani throwing her out the fucking window, which I stood up.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
All I was thinking was like, oh, fucking Madani's gonna wreck this chick, and then it's like, oh wow, she's putting up she's out the window.
Yes.
As soon as
psychologist is like adequate enough hand-to-hand combat fighter that she puts off a fucking Homeland Security officer.
Adrenaline man.
She's brain damaged, all right?
Right. A brain damaged Homeland Security officer can't put out a fucking psychologist. I get it. Okay.
But like, so the way I look at that is they teased the window shit.
Oh, it was
early
way
on.
too much. Oh my god. Oh,
and then they kept circling back to it. They made her way too much of a focal point of the season, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Because in the end, she really didn't matter, Linkin Park.
And also, let's talk about Jigsaw's scars on his face, because they really weren't that bad.
Yeah, what the hell?
So prior to watching the season, I had seen a headline where it was like, Jigsaw's scars suck, and I'm like, oh crap! The way they give him nothing, so they didn't give him nothing, but yeah, they definitely were not as pronounced as I was hoping they would be.
Yeah, and it's.
I mean,
it kind of.
dude, look at the comic. He's a mess
Yeah.
in the comics.
And someone I saw on Twitter put a side by side of his face at the end of last season after it's smashed up against the glass to now, and the scars do not match at all.
Oh.
So it's like, what are they doing with the continuity here?
Well, and just within this season, the continuity of how deep and fresh those scars are changes dramatically scene to scene.
Yeah.
Some of them they're bloody and open, and others they're scarred over and healing, and he walked into a different room.
Yeah.
The continuity was all over the place with them.
I'll say
He had really good surgeons.
Yeah, well, it was stated. No, it was stated that he had multiple facial surgeries, reconstructions. So that's their balm for that. I will say, you go back to, it's not a great movie, but Punisher Warzone, where they had Dominic West as Jigsaw, and his face is a fucking jigsaw.
I think
they nailed that.
I've never seen that.
I'm pretty sure that the side by side is of that.
Oh, okay.
I'm fairly certain that the Jigsaw in that side by side, Jordan, is Jigsaw from that film versus this one.
That's
because in the movie, isn't he like thrown into a glass recycling something or other?
Yeah. It's great and it's brutal, but
because in the comic he bashes his face through a bulletproof glass, and that's how he gets all mega fucked up, as opposed to just the mirror. So I guess, bulletproof glass in your face going through it would do a little more damage.
Right.
But
now, that said about his scars, the mask he wore is fucking creepy as hell.
I didn't like that. That pulled me out. Why is he wearing a mask in the hospital, and then he's walking out of the hospital in the mask, and it's like no one thinks to be like, why? Like, why is he wearing a mask?
Fair.
Yeah, the mask was silly.
Yeah,
I'll just say it that way. I guess like the mask was silly, and like you said, Jordan, I don't understand why he was wearing it in the hospital. But I guess it was because he was still coming to terms with the fact that his face wasn't the same. I think is how they kind of explained it.
But she used it for therapy. Like, oh, you need to paint this in a certain way and blah, blah, blah. And it just looks weird.
The painting wasn't the reason for the mask. He had the mask on, and then she suggested painting it.
Yeah.
But I think that it's implied that he has the mask on so he doesn't have to look at it. So that it's not psychologically traumatizing for him to have to see how his face is, although not horribly scarred to us within the canon of the show, horrifically scarred.
Well, because the whole big thing with his character is he was called the Butte,
right?
He was like super pretty boy, and then he's mangled.
As we've heard from some females that we know, the gentleman playing him is very handsome. Oh, my wife loves him. She would have. The entire time we're watching that show, she's like,
Ben Barnes.
Ben Barnes, yeah. The entire time.
But when I finally saw a scar, that you first see it and it's on the bus, right?
Yeah.
Is that the first time? And I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, I think so.
Well, that's
They're like, oh, what's he so upset about? All things considered, he's doing pretty good face wise.
Yeah. And I get that it's more a mental thing for him, which that's fine, but that's another thing that I'm like, I don't know, it kind of pulls me out.
It's not just his hair also being shorter, but they also they made him look malnourished.
Definitely.
Yeah, he was definitely skinny.
Very, very big physical change.
He was gaunt.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight for the role.
Yeah.
So all of that I guess just goes to point out like everything that they did with Frank in the show, fantastic.
Yes.
The other stuff was very hit or miss.
Yes.
But and that's yet another complaint is that we spent a lot of time with all these other characters, and again we didn't get a lot of Frank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate.
After watching the first season, I wanted more Punisher.
Yeah.
Like the first episode at the end when he goes nuts on those three dudes, like, oh, cool, I'm watching the Punisher.
Uh-huh.
And then not a whole lot happened, and relatively. And then we get to season 2, and I'm like, okay, some people, and he does, but it's like, it's not the level you expect it to be.
I'm sorry, I'm chomping at the bit. Andrew, you're queuing this up perfectly for me. So The last shot of the series, well, maybe of the series, but at least of the season,
Yeah.
is what I wanted.
The whole
the
season.
entire fucking 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Was him in the totally black outfit with the crisp white skull, him holding 2 machine guns, blowing away murderous gangsters.
I'm pretty sure that's a panel too.
I'm sure it is.
I screenshotted that on my phone. I pulled it up on Netflix on my phone, just screen cap him blowing both of those guns up, and I got one that has both guns,
flashes.
Yeah, both of them flashing off. So it's a fantastic shot. But
nice.
No, I agree. Like, why? I'd rather see him doing that than being like playing detective and setting up schemes and
babysitting.
Yeah, babysitting. Like, I guess I don't know why it was hard for them to write him doing those things. Like, why can't he just be an anti-hero who's murdering people who deserve to die? Like, why can't he just do that rather than like, I saved a teenager and laid low in a fucking condo in New York City for 15 hours. Like, I don't need that.
And he's just walking around with all these bruises on his face, and I'm like,
he's the most fucked up dude you've ever seen in your life. Like, if he walked past you in New York with as crazy as New York City is, you'd be like, what the fuck happened to that guy?
Yeah,
that guy had a rough night.
You're 40 miles of rough road.
Hey, buddy, you okay?
Now, just kind of diverting a little bit, a side plot that I did enjoy was Pilgrim.
I started off hating Pilgrim and not understanding why I needed this.
I agree.
But by the end of it, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, Pilgrim's the shit.
But his slow burn of going through everyone and following the breadcrumbs and just leaving bodies was really well done.
Yeah. I mean, part of me is kind of over the whole, like, I'm a religious man that's going to quote scripture and then kill you kind of thing.
Fair.
But
right there. Yep.
That being said, I did grow to really like the character later on when he's like working over his old gang of the white supremacists that he used to run with.
Oh, dude, that was reminiscent for me. That sequence for me was reminiscent of the first Kingsman movie.
Yeah.
With the church.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of that for me.
And I really loved the way that they cut that scene by having him like pulling a tooth out of his head, and then it flashes back to show what had happened.
And when we say pulling a tooth out of his head, we mean pulling another man's teeth out of his forehead.
Out of his skull.
Out of his bone. In his head bone.
Fucking unbelievable.
I thought John Pilgrim, who in the comics he's the Mennonite. I thought he was a good villain. I did not like that entire subplot, and I'll get into this later when we start getting to like what are our problems with it. So this was a problem that I had also with season 1, although I like season 1 more. Was I don't know why the Punisher out of all the Netflix series has to be where we're going to put political storylines in. Because you guys know me, I'm no Republican. I'm really not a conservative. I'm a middle to left to center guy. But I really felt uncomfortable in the first season where it felt like they were pushing an anti-alt-right thing with the veteran, the younger veteran who started his little bombing thing, and he was saying like everyone's soft and everyone's going to take away our guns and stuff like that. And they went further with that this season with the Christian industry. The family of the Schultzes, and it didn't hit at all for me, and I felt really uncomfortable watching it. And that's coming from a guy who does not like the alt-right at all.
And then literal Nazis.
Yeah, and I was fine with that, with all them dying. But like, I'm just saying, I
don't know. I kind of like those Nazis.
I can relate to them on a human level.
I just felt like it was really heavy-handed, and not necessary. Like so, and that gets back to like what we were talking about earlier with the Punisher. I want the Punisher to go around fucking killing criminals. Like, why does this have to be in our Punisher story? I get that season 1 was, even though he was introduced in Daredevil season 2, that was kind of an origin. They wanted to give him a proper origin season. That's fine. But this season should have just been him being the fucking Punisher.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's the,
well, if we
the
get a
babysitting
season
plot.
3,
The babysitting
you know.
plot fucking killed it, because that was the whole reason for all of it happening.
Yeah.
Was they wanted to get the mega rich Republican Christian family wanted to get the photos of their gay son back, and it just went from there.
Honestly, it was all really cringy to me.
Yeah.
It just was super cringy. Although the good thing out of it was Pilgrim. Pilgrim, like a good villain, because just in the first couple episodes, I was like, I really want to punch this motherfucker in the face. And that means they've made a good villain.
Yeah.
And then, dude, the last shootout between him and Castle in the hotel room, making keys out of that fucking wall. I'm like, and I keep going like, Frank, just run through it. Frank, just run through it. And then he just fucking barrels right through. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Fucking Batman's himself through the wall.
And then they switch rooms.
Yeah.
I was like, that was cool.
The room switch is my favorite thing of that sequence.
Yeah.
Because what a brilliant, like, when Frank goes in that room, I'm like, that's the room he was in. Where is he? And he's in the other room. Like, that's brilliant. That's
where he was getting a beej.
I will.
That's the beej room.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the beej room. That's why he didn't want to be in there.
And I will say this though: the one thing I don't like about Pilgrim is that he's getting a fucking blowjob and he's quoting. Is he quoting scripture? Like, no one's gonna do that. Sorry, you're getting a blowjob. You're gonna like, yeah, with God and it's like, and Jesus said, "Come,
get out."
Oh yeah, remember when Jesus said that? Gobble that cock. Is that what he said? I think it was Matthew 24:16.
But like the way
holy word of God there.
The way that Pilgrim's story kind of ended wasn't really satisfying to me.
Oh no, dude, I loved it. I loved it because the whole reason for Pilgrim being in the episode in the season was that he and Frank are two sides of the same coin, and they were foiling one another. They both have a code, but it's on different sides of the spectrum. But it was so extreme for both of them that they met in the middle at the end of it. Like, that was literally the point. Was that I knew Frank didn't kill him. The one guy he didn't kill was the T-1000 Jesus version.
As soon as Pilgrim said about his kids, I was like, that's it.
That was it.
Frank's not going to take a father away from his kids.
Nope. Once he had the pull of his sons, that was it. Because Frank wasn't going to do that. I absolutely knew that he was going to be alive. Off of that, I really enjoyed the end to the Republican family's.
Now that part I love.
Yeah,
that was very satisfying. It's just everything leading up to that.
Yeah,
just,
super dark. And just to point out, the actress that was playing the wife, the mother, the vein that runs alongside her eye and goes down to her jaw is the scariest thing I'd ever seen.
So blue.
I thought that it was a prosthetic.
Me too.
Literal blue bloods.
I thought it was a prosthetic. I thought she had a facial prosthetic on. That's how disturbing that vein was to me. Like,
when she's just screaming at Pilgrim.
Yeah.
We sitting there like just. Ugh.
We paused it and I went, ew, and then we pressed play.
Yeah, but their end was so well done.
I love that he killed the wife first.
Yeah.
Well, because she's about to stab Amy, and then it's just her fucking brains are everywhere.
And then her blood is just pouring out onto the table, slowly approaching the husband.
Closer, yeah.
That was awesome.
I was going to come in here with 2 guns, then I had to shoot your bitch wife. What did he say?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Frank.
Yeah. It was fantastic. And then he just drops the gun and tosses him a bullet, and he's like, you either kill yourself or...
Yeah.
And then
you live with it.
House and you hear the gunshot. And I was like, oh!
Yeah.
That was dark. Jesus didn't like that. You didn't say anything about that. He hates that.
Yeah, that whole scene was so fitting. I would have preferred it had it been Pilgrim instead of Frank. However, I understand why we got Frank in that situation.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing where I said I wish Pilgrim got a better ending instead of just standing outside with his sons and like putting them in the car.
Well, I don't think that within the universe, I don't think that Pilgrim's sons would have reacted to Frank in a way that was like a savior situation.
Yeah.
So Frank said, "Go get your kids. I got this."
Yeah.
Okay. Now that you put it that
that's
way,
how I
that makes
took
more sense.
Yeah, that's how I took it. Was that Frank was like, "Go get your kids. I got this shit."
Okay.
Yeah.
But so we've kind of fast forwarded. Do you have a favorite episode of this season?
I don't. That's tough. Because a lot of episodes I had scenes that I just really, really liked.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just tough to. Maybe the last one, or even the one before, episode 12, I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The last 4 episodes were great.
Yeah, definitely. Somehow they were able to do the reverse of what Netflix usually does.
Yeah.
Where the beginning is super strong and the end is kind of weak and we fall off to the end.
See, Daredevil season 3 kind of corrected that.
No, yeah, Daredevil season 3 definitely did. And if you haven't heard that episode, it's available now.
I also really like that episode 9 was called Flustercluck.
Yes.
I liked that it was called Flustercluck until they said Flustercluck.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, never mind.
No 16-year-old kid is going to clean up her language like that. Sorry. Especially one who's like in the criminal underworld.
Right. I mean, up to that point, she was running, and I think we had just found out why.
Yes.
Season episode 9, we figured it out.
My favorite episode was, I think, right in the middle. Was the episode where Russo and his gang hit up that money caching place.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then
One bad
Frank,
day.
And then Frank finally makes himself. He reveals himself to Billy. Billy, you should have stayed in that hole.
Oh my god, dude, that episode was insane. The firefight in the street, and everything that went with it. Like, and then that was with the ambulance going off the highway. That was the next.
That was the last episode, right?
That
or
was second to last,
But,
I
like,
believe.
Oh, so all of that. Oh my god, with the what do he have? Like a minigun?
No, he had a very high-powered automatic carbine with two huge drum clips.
He had like 7 of them in his fucking jacket.
It was a sweet jacket. It looked like he could hold a lot of
those drum
bullets
clips
in that jacket.
That's why he bought the jacket. Look at all these pockets.
So I think my favorite episode was the scene where Frank actually tries to take down Billy and his crew, and he goes in and
sniping.
Absolutely gets his ass handed to him, and they're beating him with the crowbar in the chest and everything, and then
they hit him with the rock salt.
The fucking lights are flashing to disorient him. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, that was right before we took a whole episode detour into who killed these girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
But before it, great.
Yeah.
Agree. That was awesome.
And he's just laying there, and then he kills everyone.
Yeah.
The Dark Hearts of Men. That's what that episode was called.
My favorite episode of the season was episode 3, when they hunkered down at the police station from Pilgrim and his righteous followers. I loved how tight that episode was.
So there's a episode of Supernatural that's very similar to that.
Well, there's an episode of every action-based TV where they're all holed up in a police station. It's a trope, you know.
But I think that just the effectiveness of like nobody trusts anybody, nobody wants to do what they're there for, and like Frank kind of is just like, listen, I'm telling you, you're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. And the one guy's like, I'm ready for this, and he gets shot. And he's like, I'm not ready for this.
He like runs out to the car, and it fucking drives into the car in front of it.
Yeah.
That scene was so effective that when he gets in the car and you just hear the shot and it just slowly rolls forward.
Yeah.
That to me kicked the whole thing off. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was
that looked like some real shit.
And then the firefight in the back of the place, and they got the one chick that was held up there with Frank out. Like I loved everything about that episode. It was super, super effective to me.
Trouble the water.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
So I'd like to go from what was our favorite episodes to what is your biggest problem.
Oh God.
And I'll start that. So my biggest problem with this season was, I guess maybe the writing, but as much as I liked so much of it, I didn't like how many plots and subplots there were, and that was a problem with the first season as well. As good as the first season was, it was just so much. We had the Christian industry plot. We had Madani and Russo. We had Russo and Dr. I can't remember her name. Dr. Christie, something, I don't know, but
Dumont.
Dr. Middle Eastern lady.
Yeah. We had Frank.
We had the weird Madani and detective, what's his name?
Mahoney.
Yeah. But there were so many plots. And I get that after the first season you have Frank out of New York. I wouldn't prefer that. I would have preferred like he just stuck around New York, not doing Punisher things, and then being drawn back into that life in New York instead of being in Michigan. And then 3 episodes later, Madani going like, "Hey, we
remember when I said no? Now it's yes.
Yeah, we need you in New York. So come on back to New York."
But at least that explains why Karen didn't call him in season 3 of The Punisher or Daredevil.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. That does explain where he was, why he wasn't there, because he absolutely would have. But I felt like, unlike where so many other seasons of other Netflix shows, where the first 3 or 4 episodes were some of the best episodes of those seasons, I actually did not like the beginning of this season. I just did not like that whole storyline. And then once he's back in New York, I'm like, okay, this feels more like a Punisher. He goes into that Russian gym.
Oh, that was awesome.
No, I was waiting for us to talk about that.
He takes a 5-pound weight and turns a guy's face into fucking raw ground beef. Oh my
And
God.
you saw the dude's he was a fighter too. You saw his ears.
Yeah.
And then Frank just crushes him.
Dude, that fucking sequence was brutal.
And he fights Zangief from Street Fighter at one point.
I thought they were all gonna die. I didn't think anyone was leaving alive. I thought they're all gonna die. And I love that it was Turk that brought it back into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I hope I never see you again." And Frank's like, "Yeah, fuck you too."
I'm just glad I was like, wow, this is really gonna be the end of Turk. I hope. Oh no, he's still alive. So I was happy about that.
Turkeyed his way out of it again.
Hey, maybe we'll get a Turk spinoff.
Or it's just him getting the shit kicked out of him by Daredevil and Punisher over and over again.
The Turk spinoff is him just going, "Man, I don't want to do this shit." But all right, he's over on West 39th Street.
Knowing how Netflix works, they'll do a Turk trailer and then immediately cancel it.
Oh,
now I'm sad.
Let's talk about when Karen shows up at the hospital and they have to pull Frank out of there because of the bounty on his head.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I was very happy to see Karen Page. I'm always happy to see Karen Page. I like Karen Page. She should be in more things every day. Okay.
Yes. 100%. When Karen went down to like the morgue with Madani and had to give up her shoes, because I saw her walking earlier in that episode before they paid that off, and I was like, where are her shoes?
Yeah. I was like, ew, she's walking in a hospital with shoes on?
That's a great way to get sepsis.
I wanted to fucking throw up.
That's how I got gonorrhea.
Foot gonorrhea. I think that's called gout.
Or ringworm.
But yeah, that having Frank put on the police uniform and walking him out of there, I thought was really interesting. And then Mahoney catching them and then handcuffing him.
Fucking Mahoney.
Fucking poor Mahoney just can't catch a break, and he's like, "All right, fine, fuck it, we're doing it my way." And then he goes over a fucking bridge.
If the only reason nothing goes well for Mahoney is that because he has the greatest morals of any police officer, but also the most leniency of any police officer. Like if
he's
if he's ever wondering why shit doesn't go his way, he only has himself to blame.
He's very by the book until he's not by the book.
Yeah, until one of them is like, "We're friends, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, so."
Like, we're cool. Friends, we're really? Cool.
Yeah, he's like so desperate for friends that he's like, "Sure, do whatever you want. Fuck the rules."
I really liked how that the hospital thing ended with Frank in the uniform and going to the ambulance, and that was a great car chase sequence. But the getting to there, like that was a little bit, that was a dip for me in the season, that he's laid up in the hospital bed, and we have to figure out that he didn't, which we obviously knew he didn't. We know he didn't kill those women, but
Well, I didn't think about that at first.
I
thought he did.
I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
The way
I thought that was just one of those things, like he's going to have to live with it.
Oh no, dude! I 100% agree with you. I definitely didn't think he killed those women. I said to Amanda immediately, I was like, oh, they were already dead.
When he walked in, the way they were placed, like there was, I think, like, I don't know if they worked with a forensic.
It would have taken 2 seconds for a forensic guy to go, oh, the entry wounds aren't like that. They didn't come from below. That was an open and shut, like, oh, we could exclude anyone from the floor level, would have killed them.
It didn't look to me like he had killed them. But I know what they were going for.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I thought that was a little bit. I get that it's the 13 episode thing.
They were trying to give, now Frank's the monster that he said Billy was, and all this other shit.
But I'm glad they didn't linger too long on that. I'm glad they kind of wrapped that up within one episode.
Yeah, because I definitely felt like, oh, we're gonna do this for the next 2, huh?
Me too.
And I was like dreading the fact that we're gonna bring a crime scene investigator, and he's just gonna have a hard on for the punter. Like, I definitely thought that's where we were going. He did it, absolutely.
He killed.
And I was thinking that.
Yeah, I thought they were definitely going there.
I was thinking that, like, Frank was going to be like, well, I'll never kill again. Like, that's going to be his thing now.
I'm going to kill more people now.
His way to cancel the show is to have him go.
I'll never kill again. But what I'm going to do is create a symbol. A symbol that inspires fear. I'm no longer the Punisher. I'm the Vin Diesel is the pacifist.
And it's just a giant white peace symbol.
A pacifier. It's a literal pacifier. The giant white spray painted pacifier. And he's always getting into gang situations and going, guys, we could work this out.
The negotiator.
I was telling somebody at your party, Jordan. I don't remember who exactly I was talking to. But they were talking about Punisher season 2, and I was like, so has anybody noticed that Jon Bernthal, in all of his roles wherein he has to play somebody who's doing something mega emotional, because he's always in those type of roles, the person's talking to him and saying very important things that he doesn't want to hear, and he's looking away and he's listening to it, and he does this thing where he moves his head back and forth from left to right as if to almost climb a ladder in his head to find the words. And then he says something.
Oh my god! That is great.
Because I noticed him do it in this season, especially when he was in the hospital bed when he was talking to Karen.
Yeah,
but he definitely did it in Walking Dead when he didn't want to hear what whatever the wife's name was.
Yeah.
Lori.
Talking
to Lori. He definitely did it in that show. So I think it's something.
I'm pretty sure he's done that in Baby Driver too.
Also, he did the same thing. He looks away and he's like, Rick! And he does the head. Yeah, you do bob my head, Rick.
I'm pretty sure he's done that in Baby Driver as well.
Yep, he did it in Baby Driver. So, like, I think it's something that he learned early on is super effective for him. But having seen it back to back, because I had just recently watched Baby Driver, and I remember him from Walking Dead, obviously, and then having watched this season and season 1 of Punisher, where I'm sure he did it at least 5 times.
Now I'm never going to be
sort of like, maybe he's not so method. Maybe he's a one-trick pony here.
One of his decisions that I did enjoy is that whenever he gets physical in a scene and he's got to amp himself up, he growls. He's like, and it's like,
Russo.
It works.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It makes me believe that he's psyching himself up
Mm-hmm.
to do something horrible.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the thing that he does where he looks away and walks up the ladder in his brain, I'm not saying that that's not good or bad or not effective. It is super effective every time. I've just seen it in such proximity to one another in different roles that I was like, holy shit, it's a thing that he just does.
Honestly, as soon as you said that he does this thing, I'm thinking in my head, oh shit, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
I noticed it too.
Look, he's great.
He's super method. Like, my favorite thing was when he was doing press tour for season 1, he went on Jimmy Kimmel and basically admitted, like, I'm not around my kids or my wife when I'm filming this show.
Wow.
He got an apartment across from the Brooklyn Bridge, so not in Manhattan, across the Brooklyn Bridge in Brooklyn. He got a small apartment where he isolated himself for the entirety of filming season 1.
Wow.
Because that's Frank Castle. He doesn't have his wife, he doesn't have his kids, and he wanted to get into the mind frame of that person.
And that's super, like, that's really admirable. I hope these actors, like, they take it easy though, because that's how Heath Ledger died. So.
Well, right,
Yeah.
but that was the thing too. In that same interview with Jimmy Kimmel, like, he's super funny and super amicable and super just. He's definitely not Frank Castle as a person,
Right.
Yeah.
but he has, in order to be that operative word, evil, because Frank's not necessarily evil, but he's kind of an evil. He's like a lawful evil, or maybe even a chaotic evil. Is he a chaotic evil?
I think Netflix.
He's lawful evil.
I feel like Netflix dulled down the Punisher.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And they're trying to make him more hero than anti-hero.
Oh, remember when he randomly murdered a guy that helps people film child porn?
That was awesome. No, he didn't.
He didn't murder him.
Well, right. But
he should have, but he didn't.
But like, what Frank would have killed that guy.
Yeah, no hesitation.
In season 2 of Daredevil, he goes to that pawn shop, and it's heavily implied that he murdered the owner for having child porn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the teenage girl who played herself up like a teenager, which was really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. And then when I realized what was happening, I was like, oh, okay.
They couldn't just go to fucking Rite Aid and get pictures developed.
But this way you get to see Frank beat up a pedophile.
And then not kill him.
I also got to think
he should have.
I also got to think it'd be pretty easy to make any bathroom into a dark room. You just get a red light bulb and you get the fucking chemicals, and that's it.
Yeah, but we got a series we got to make here. You know,
Frank's like, I can't be taking this time to acquire chemicals. Find me the nearest child pornography.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like what they cut out was like the 24 hours that girl spent on the internet, like trolling message boards on the dark web asking for CP.
Holy shit.
She's like, anyone up for some cheese pizza?
So what did we think of Russo's storyline and how it came to an end?
So that's what I was really hoping, that this season was going to be all Jigsaw.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, I really wish they hadn't done that whole Christian industry thing. That I really thought that they could have done the entire season of Jigsaw and written that out well. When it got going, when he's got his gang and they're doing crime, I thought that it was moving really well. I have a little bit of a nitpick that when they showed them starting to go into like drug houses, they relied a little bit too much on the digital blood.
Yeah,
they didn't. Do practical blood splatter. And I don't know why. Maybe they just ran out of money for that. I don't know.
That was a fucking afterthought.
Yeah.
But once they start going, like, that's where the season really started to pick up for me. And then of course it culminates with, Frank and Curtis attacking their stronghold, Valhalla. But
really, yeah, you fucking edgelords, Jesus.
The way it ended, I didn't really like it. I mean, I liked that he took 2 in the chest from Frank, but 2 bullets. But
pearl necklace from Frank.
But basically that it ended. Basically, that it ended that he and Madani were fighting and having a shootout, and then he's just trying to survive and going to a seedy doctor, criminal doctor, and
Dude,
then,
how weird was that?
And then get robbed by said doctor, and then
he gets dumped in a dumpster.
Which I thought was kind of funny, but
all of his money is gone.
So wait, hold on. Did the doctor remove the bullets or no?
I don't think
he got
one out.
Right. Oh, sorry, yeah. He got one up, but he didn't get all of them.
Before he passed out, he got the
yeah.
So then we're led to believe that the doctor stole his money, dumped him in a trash can, and just left the bullets in him and was like, "Fuck this!" Right?
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to.
Yeah, because the doctor was already not a reputable person.
Of course.
So why would he adhere to the Hippocratic Oath? He would just take the money and go.
No. I just thought, like, how, if he was in such excruciating pain and then he blacked out, why did he then, like, wake up and continue forward? Like, I thought he was just gonna die in that fucking
sheer force of will.
He did die thinking that his girlfriend was dead.
Also,
the script required him to be at Curtis's.
Oh man, if
place.
they had 2 more episodes, we would have seen Jigsaw hitch a ride to Tijuana, get those bullets removed, and go all the way back to New York to then finally fight Frank one-on-one.
But like, it made sense to me because the doctor was clearly not interested in saving him. From the get-go. And so the doctor was like, "Well, I guess he's just gonna die in this dumpster. Whatever, that's not my problem."
But like, I just found it odd that, like, he woke up and he wasn't fixed, but he was still, like, good enough to keep going. Like, that bothered me.
But for anyone else, was that also, because for me that was a disappointing end to Jigsaw.
It was a shocking end.
I
did not see that coming at all.
I thought Frank would sit down next to him,
and
they'd have like a moment. But then Frank just kind of like shot him in the chest, and then again.
That was the Punisher.
I very much like the anticlimax of it.
I did too,
on purpose.
Yes,
I very much like that. That it wasn't Last Jedi subversion, but they went for a subverted ending where Billy's he started to try to talk again. He started to try to be like, "Frank, it's you and me," and Frank's just like, "All right, no, shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Well, he was like, "Whatever I did, I'm really sorry," and then pop,
fuck out of here, shut the fuck up.
But to me, that felt like the most Punisher moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, they had spent a lot of the season was spent Curtis, Amy, Madani, and Frank talking about how Russo couldn't be saved, or maybe not Amy, but Madani, Curtis, and Frank talking about how really he just had to be put down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Frank put him down. He literally put him down. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a big moment for me that Billy was expecting Curtis to walk through the door and it was Frank instead.
Yeah.
That was for me so worth it. But so the fight sequence between Pilgrim and Frank. I don't know if is it the last episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they're in the rain in that lot where that fucking trailer was.
Yes.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Brutal.
With the chain.
Oh.
And
the fire the hell's the thing called? The fire extinguisher? Yeah, the fire extinguisher.
Oh yeah. They were like an air canister.
Oh my god, that was so fucking brutal.
I just like that he like scrambles over and he gets Pilgrim's gun and he goes to shoot him and he's just like, shit. Because it's empty. Yeah. He just takes a fucking shovel to the face.
They beat the holy hell out of each other. No pun.
And they were already both so beat up to begin with.
It was incredible. That was so incredible.
Yeah.
The fighting and the action was, as we've come to expect from all these Netflix shows, other than Iron Fist season 1, was really good.
Yeah, it's like I'm glad that the seriousness of the fighting from Daredevil season 1 has carried through to this, other than Iron Fist season 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we don't talk about Iron Fist season 1.
And we never have to again.
Nope. Rip.
So last thoughts on the season as a whole. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What's going on?
So I did like it. I'm glad I watched it. I might eventually go back and watch it again after watching season 1 again. Especially even just to get to that last shot where he's the Punisher. But there were things that were disappointing. Like I really wish there had been a nice big confrontation, a nice big finale confrontation between Frank and Jigsaw. But considering it's probably going to get canceled, I guess I'll say it was worth it. It was worth watching.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to get any more.
So is it possible that Netflix puts together another season of it?
Well, I'm looking at headlines right here from just 3 days ago that Punisher season 2 viewership way down.
Because
really,
but you have to imagine,
everybody thinks it's going to get canceled. They don't want to watch it.
Now,
Netflix
doesn't really release that information, but this is according to an analytics firm. So I don't know how they did that, but you can look up articles on that. But there are several headlines saying that it was way down.
Well, I mean, there's a big part of me that I started watching season 1, and I know that there's no Daredevil, there's no more Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and it's hard to be like, it's hard to get invested when I keep thinking about like, oh, well, that's it.
Yeah.
That sounds hard. Sounds really hard.
Sounds really hard. Well played.
I wholeheartedly agree with the fact that it's hard to
really hard.
Emotionally get invested in these characters and really give a shit because, oh, well, if this is going to be the last season, then like, why should I invest my time in this when I could watch anything else on Netflix that they're just pumping seasons out left and right?
Yeah.
So Jordan, what are your final thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I really did. Aside from some of the melodrama that we got based around Amy and her stuff, and then aside from the stuff with the Doctor and Jigsaw, I did really enjoy the season. Like we both said, it's not as good as season 1, but it's still one of the better Netflix series.
Yeah.
Andrew?
I really liked it. I liked the clear arc in all of the characters from the first season and like how that would have going through all the shit that they went through in the first season would affect a normal person that's not the Punisher. Like the first time you see Madani, she's drinking and she's got a much looser, idea of the law. Curtis is trying his best to move forward. And then Frank's like, hey, I'm going to go on a little road trip. I'm going to have a great little time.
I'm going to start banging some moms on the road.
Yeah. Get some pancakes.
Milks,
but
okay.
I liked it. The awesome, good moments definitely outweighed a lot of the negative stuff for me. Fight scenes were amazing. The action sequences were great. There were moments where you got to see Frank Castle be the Punisher, and that's all I really wanted.
I just wanted more.
I don't know why Iron Fist couldn't have just done that.
But
that's neither here nor
the
there.
Punisher. Iron Fist is Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Rob, what did you think?
So I really enjoyed it, and once it wrapped, once the credits rolled in the last episode, I was like, man, I really enjoyed that season.
Yeah.
Like Andrew said, the good far outweighed the bad, in my opinion. We always try to rank the Netflix seasons and where they go. This one, just by circumstance of everything else being really good for the most part, this falls in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely recommend watching it. I would absolutely, especially if you even remotely enjoy the character of the Punisher, it's definitely worth the watch to get deeper into him as a character going forward. But I really just wanted more Punisher. Like, I hate that it took 11 episodes for the vest to come out. Like, that bothered me. It just bothered me that that's where it was. And I hate that we had to wait to the last 30 seconds of episode 13 to see him be the Punisher. Like, shit like that bothers the hell out of me, because there's the only people holding the show back are the people that are creating it. Yeah. Nobody else is telling them to do that. They decided to make it a babysitting season, and that's
Would would you say it felt like the first 2 seasons were an origin?
Yeah,
in a way?
because season 1 ends on a very similar note to the way season 2 ends, and then we get a whole other like, oh yeah, this is Frank Castle. Like, why do we have to reintroduce the guy? Let's most comic books are the B arc to a character, right? Because like whenever you read a collected issue, if it's of a comic book run in a graphic novel, it's always the middle of that story where you're getting to see the meat of what happens with that person, right? You know the origin, and most times we never get to the end of a character unless they try to do a huge over-connected storyline or whatever. But in this, we got another beginning to his story,
Right?
Rather than let's see him do some Punisher shit.
Yeah, let's pick up in the middle,
Right?
where this
We didn't
picked up
in
at the beginning.
We
again.
picked up at the beginning again.
Well, that's what Daredevil did right.
Absolutely.
Daredevil season 1 was his origin season. Daredevil season 2,
Yeah.
he was fucking Daredevil.
Yeah.
That entire fucking season. And then Daredevil season 3, as good as it was, he wasn't Daredevil really. You know, he was the again back to the Man in Black.
But he was beaten down so much that he needed to be rebuilt.
Right, I know. But season 2, he was outright fucking Daredevil that entire fucking season. It was great.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's what they should have done with this.
I don't know why he wasn't wearing the jacket and the vest. I don't know why. There's no answer that's good enough for me. Like if we were to talk to the showrunner and be like, why wasn't he just fucking Punisher?
Well, you see, he wanted to take Frank out of the environment that he
was
Why? Well, you see, that causes drama.
No, it doesn't. It's piss poor. It's piss poor storytelling.
Okay, right.
It's piss poor storytelling.
And part of me thinks that their excuse for that would be something along the lines of, well, he's a wanted criminal and everyone thinks he's dead. And if he shows up in a vest with the skull on it, everyone's going to know who he is. But he's
the Punisher.
He's still walking the streets and he's still shooting people in the face.
Absolutely. And that easily could be written away with 5 lines.
Yep.
5 lines said by Madani or someone could easily just say, oh yeah, well, you know, he rescinded this or whatever. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like,
nobody in Michigan knows who he is because, you know, a fucking a mass criminal as they portrayed him in season 1 that news would never reach the rest of the country.
Right.
like they wouldn't be talking about the Punisher however long it was between season 1 and season 2 on a 24-hour cable news station every day.
In Daredevil season 2, he was a national story.
Exactly.
And then in Punisher season 1, he would have been even more of a national story because he was already a national story that had then killed a cop or something. Like,
it would have been like developing. This is continuing.
I don't know.
Like,
maybe the Hulk did something, and that really took the attention away.
The Incident 2 Incidenter.
Iron Man had to return some videotapes.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to write that off. Just one of the Avengers
did
something that was kind of taking the attention away from
Tony
Frank.
Stark did something.
Or someone.
This summer.
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
or someone. I heard you.
Thank you. I thought that was going to go unnoticed.
I
So, essentially, we're going to get Jessica Jones season 3.
Yeah.
And then the Thanos snap is probably going to happen.
We don't know that.
And then we just...
Will it? Is it even the same universe anymore? Has it ever been the same universe?
But
Do they care?
But then they're going to just wipe out the street level heroes for whatever reason. And that'll be it. And
then the MCU, they literally said going forward, they're not doing any more phases. They're going to move to a cosmic level and a street level. As they just canceled the 4 fucking street level characters that they spent 2.5 years to 3 years building. Why would we now move to the street level?
It was more like 4 years.
Why would we move to the street level now?
Well, maybe we're going to get a Daredevil movie.
We're going to get an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movie.
If they go the route of giving these characters standalone films and it's the same cast, I will be all for it.
Absolutely. Give me a 2.5 hour Defenders film.
Good God.
And I'm fucking there. As long as
rock hard.
As long as John Bernthal is in there as the Punisher. Because there's no excuse for him not being involved. He's there too.
And Iron Fist has to be able to actually fight people.
How fucking Hell's Kitchen is like 5 blocks. 5 city blocks. How much? Makes no fucking sense.
Well,
I also want to see him fight Kingpin again. That was fun.
It was.
yeah. Let's throw Spider-Man in there too.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh, can I also just say I really liked that they referred to him as the Punisher more in this season.
Hell yeah.
Those little things make me happy.
Yeah. It took the teenager that was with him 6 episodes to Google him.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
well, it was like in Daredevil season 3 when the FBI agents started referring to Fisk as Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
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 I just gave him
Yeah. I mean, if for whatever reason we get another season of The Punisher, I hope
he'll be the Punisher.
Will it? What if it's a road trip season?
He starts off in Bangkok.
Oh my god! God damn it! Oh.
But on the bright side, he kills everybody there.
Oh.
that's true.
The streets of Bangkok are
Punisher.
run red with blood today.
Oh.
As Tony Stark eats a sandwich in the park.
Punisher season 3 International.
Oh god.
He's there. He drives by a school bus, and there's like Peter Parker on it and everything. He's like, "Wow, guys, it's so great to be far from home." And then he looks into the camera.
And the credits roll.
Yeah,
That's Far From Home. Spoilers.
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute film.
the trailer was just like a sizzle reel.
Oh, any final thoughts?
Oh.
We're all
I really
done?
liked it.
I
I really liked it. There was cool fighting and
I
violence.
just hope there is a season 3 so we do get to see it, but I'm certain there won't be.
Let's get these guys into the MCU, shall we?
Collective sigh from everybody.
That seems to be it.
Yeah, no, get him in the MCU. There's no reason why he's not in the MCU. There's no reason why he's not in the MCU. There's no reason.
If the whole point of canceling the Netflix shows was to get them off Netflix in order to be on the big screen, I'm all right with it.
No,
But that's going to
apparently
take 2 years.
The agreement is 2 years.
That's fine.
Once the shows are canceled, it's 2 years before those characters can be used again.
We're filled up with the movie slates for right now. We can come back to them.
Dude, even make a comic series, just continuing their story.
Yeah,
I would be. I just want to know what happens to these characters that I've spent years watching and caring
that would
about.
actually be interesting because DC does something similar with the video games. So
Yeah.
that'd be interesting
Yeah.
to see if they do a comic series that's like Netflix universe Defenders.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. I know DC
haven't done
does
yet. We could do
stuff like that for like their
haven't done
CW shows. So it's entirely possible that Marvel could do something similar.
Yeah. All right, let's take it to the bridge.
All right. So for Pop Cannon, this has been episode 10. I'm Jordan.
I'm Robert.
I'm Andrew.
And I am Brian.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter. Interact with us. And make sure you hit subscribe.
Yeah, are you on?
And you should have stayed in your hole.
Russo!
You can stay in all our holes. You can stay in all our holes on the internet. Internet's full of holes. Jump in ours.
What the internet is?
One of these days, we're gonna figure out how to end an episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Put us in your ear holes.
Mm,
And let us stay there.
marinate in your ear holes.
We're moving in.
All
And bye.
Bye.
And much like Netflix's The Punisher, episode 10 is a wrap. Sad face. Well, guys, it was fun while it lasted, right? What's that old saying? It's better to have had the show and have it get canceled than to have never had it at all, right? That's the saying? how did you like season 2 of Netflix's The Punisher? As you can probably tell, we enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah, we nitpicked a bit, but some of the issues are glaring and they stay with you. But overall, awesome stuff. So what did you think? Did you enjoy the fight scenes? Did you think we didn't get enough quote-unquote Punisher? Let us know. We want to hear your thoughts on this season. You can find us on Facebook.com/PopCannonPodcast. You can follow us on Twitter @PopCannonPod. You can subscribe to us on YouTube by searching Pop Cannon Podcast. Just don't forget the K. Okay? This podcast is also available from a litany of podcast platforms such as iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Breaker, Castbox, Radio Public, Anchor, and YouTube. So subscribe, because 2019 is chock full of fantastic films and TV shows, and we're desperately going to try to get to all of them for you when we can, because Andrew lives in California. Speaking of, you can follow us individually, so help you God. I, Robert, can be found on Twitter and Instagram @Yesball. Jordan can be found on Twitter and Instagram @JL24FPS. Andrew is on Twitter @flavored_red and Instagram @AndroidSkeleton. And Brian can be found slowly seducing his therapist. They get romantically entangled after she breaks him out of the hospital. Sure, he's a known killer and a psychopath, but she just can't seem to stop thinking about him because women want to fix broken things. And Brian, he's broken all right. But there's the rub. This therapist, see, she was broken once too. Fell out a window as a child. And she's got this tremendous scar on her back. And if you touch it just right mid-coitus, ooh yeah. Ooh. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's the episode. Follow us, listen to us, and subscribe, please. Thanks, guys.